Okay, today I'm going to talk about the differences between Chinese education and American education. Chinese education may be different and unusual, but at the same time very unique. Just like Americans, Chinese students want the opportunity to learn new objects. Each school system learns effects differently, and they may not all learn it the same way. Of course, each country speaks a certain language and learns how to read and write in a specific technique. Chinese school systems are very important to parents and their children because without education, nobody would be able to communicate and understand each other. The way school systems operate, their classes is also a major factor. Chinese schools consist of 4 components: basic education, occupational polytechnic education, common higher education, and adult education. As an American, we don't speak much about Chinese education systems. I've looked up information and researched tons of facts about this specific topic. Chinese school systems are completely different than others, but have become very important due to the opportunities and the level of education the children are given. China and America schools have many differences. One of the main differences is structure. A Chinese school day is much longer than the normal American school day. American students change classes and teachers several times a day. Chinese students remain in the same class all day but contain different teachers throughout the day. Because these students stay in the same class, they are closer with their classmates. Sometimes they even share desks together. Another way they differ is the way the information is taught. In America, students have the opportunity to discuss information and give feedback regarding the subject being taught. In China, the students do not get to participate. They are only there to learn and listen. The Chinese classrooms are much quieter and the students are much more formal and attentive. Important facts of the Chinese school systems. Differences between Chinese and American school systems. First, one of the main differences is the hours in the school day. According to China Insight, while American students usually attend school for about 7 hours each weekday, Chinese students spend much more time in school. For example, at Harbin No. 1 High School, students begin school at 7 a.m. and remain until 8:20 p.m. Sometimes the senior students even stay until 10 p.m. at night to study for finals. 2 main differences in the way American teachers and Chinese teachers teach. Class instructions are different because in America, the teachers use class participation and let the students discuss their ideals and perception. In China, the teachers use a formal format. The teachers in China lecture and the students are expected to listen and take notes quietly. American and Chinese students have different work ethics. University of Michigan article states that one main difference is the hard work ethic of the Chinese students. Chinese students' hard work ethic creates successful students. The Chinese school system does not differentiate between lower and higher scoring students. They believe all can succeed, according to University of Michigan. The way Chinese school system is structured. How the Chinese school system works. There are 4 components in the Chinese school system. They are basic education, occupational, higher education, and adult education. These 4 subjects make up the Chinese school systems. How the Chinese school system is divided. According to www.open.edu, it states that the school system is divided into different periods. Basic education deals with preschool and occupational education deals with 3 years of primary schooling. Those make up the younger classes. Higher education deals with 3 years of junior secondary schooling, and adult education deals with 3 years of senior secondary schooling. Those make up the older classes. Chinese population has impact on class size. The class sizes in China have 2 classes ranging from 55 to 65 students. Chinese teachers divide their days into 8 periods. The standard American class size is no more than 25 to 30 students. The stress related with school between school systems. Chinese students deal with more stress than American students. China has an intensively competitive education system. China creates a high anxiety atmosphere for its students. American students have a much lower stressful environment. Chinese students are prone to have long-term effects due to the stress in their schools. China creates a high anxiety atmosphere for its students. Chinese parents expect their children to always succeed. American students do not have the amount of stress than the Chinese students do. Stress in the Chinese school system can cause death. According to channelnewsasia.com, the stress often leads to more psychological problems for the Chinese. As stated also, the Chinese students often commit suicides from the stress. American students do not often feel the same stress as the Chinese students, so therefore they usually do not have long-term effects. Chinese school systems are completely different than others, but have become very important due to the opportunities and the level of education the children are given. In conclusion, the Chinese school system is much more organized, structured, and much more stressful than the American school system. The Chinese students are much more prepared for today's society than the American students. China is now leading the world today in industry and innovation.